Good day, it's October 13th, 2025. The Democratic-controlled states like Illinois, Oregon, and California continue to push back against what they describe as military invasion by Donald Trump by deploying the National Guards to the streets to join ICE, the Immigration Customs Enforcement, according to observers in Portland, Oregon, and in Chicago, Illinois. I'm Sam Buban. Welcome to The Pulse.
And I'm Maribel Villanueva. Welcome to this edition.
Protests against immigration and customs enforcement in those states has garnered support from millions of people from those states as Trump administration augmented the ICE operations by having the National Guards as their backup, according to officials and observers on the ground. Meanwhile, the state of Illinois has filed a lawsuit in federal court asking the court to order an end to deployment of the National Guard troops to Chicago and other Illinois cities to help with ICE operations and disperse peaceful protests all over the state. Governor Pritzker described the deployment as a dangerous formula for violent confrontation between civilian protesters and armed federal agents like ICE and the National Guards. The governor also expressed that Trump should obey the law already in the books regarding National Guard deployment for valid reason and not for political reasons to silence and intimidate his political opponents in Democratic states. The Illinois State Attorney General has filed the lawsuit in behalf of the state. In California, a similar lawsuit to block Donald Trump from deploying 200 federalized California National Guards from being deployed to Oregon without the consent of the governors of both states has made its way to the federal court, and a Trump-appointed Judge Karine Immergut, U.S. District Judge in Portland, issued an injunction to temporarily block the move to transfer California National Guards to Oregon for deployment in Portland. The judge issued the block, citing a lack of evidence that the recent protest necessitated the move. Already, a federal judge in California had late last month ruled against the Trump administration from using the National Guards to deal with the peaceful and lawful protest in Los Angeles, California.
The poster boy of the Trump administration's mass deportation program, Kilmer Abrego Garcia, continued to get attention from mainstream media. Mr. Garcia, who is from El Salvador and was on temporary protected status, issued years earlier by a federal judge, was wrongfully deported by ICE to El Salvador, and due to court pressure from two separate judges, was returned back to the U.S. not as a free man, but to face federal human smuggling charges in Tennessee, brought by the DOJ under the direction of Attorney General Pam Bondi. His case has gotten national attention over the conduct of ICE in denying his right to due process and became the national figure on fight against ICE's warrantless arrests and swift deportations without the usual due process. Kilmer Abrego Garcia was arrested in March this year in a courthouse in Maryland when he was complying with reporting monthly to check in at an immigration judge. After his return last month, a Tennessee federal judge ordered him released while his case is going into trial, but ICE arrested him for deportation and transported Abrego Garcia to Virginia. Tennessee U.S. Judge Waverly D. Crenshaw, Jr. released him from custody to allow him to gather evidence to defend himself against the charges of human smuggling. Now his lawyers are fighting for his release and potential deportation in the federal court in Maryland under Judge Paula Sinis. DHS had been talking about deporting Abrego Garcia to a third country in Africa rather than El Salvador, the country he fled years ago for fear of death from the El Salvadorian gang, Tren de Aragua. But earlier this week, Mr. Garcia was transferred again from a Virginia ICE detention facility to another ICE detention facility in Pennsylvania. Lawyers for Kilmar Abrego Garcia lamented that the transfer to Pennsylvania of their client make it more difficult for them and their client to prepare for his defense, and that the new detention facility is more difficult to access. They said the facility has been reported to have death of a detainee by hanging, lack of food, lack of medical care, and abuse by guards. The lawyers also made note of a sudden discontinuance of an investigation by the DOJ and the Department of Homeland Security into alleged abuses by guards and conditions of the facility. The federal judge in Maryland, Paula Zinis, who had ordered the return of Abrego Garcia to Maryland, where he resides, or to U.S. soil from El Salvador, is losing patience on the DOJ in the deportation case being heard in her courtroom. Talks from the administration about deporting Mr. Garcia to either Uganda or a little-known tiny country of Eswatini has been circulating. DOJ lawyer was asked by the Judge Zinis, and no lawyer from the DOJ who appeared at the case hearing could provide a simple, basic question as the judge described it. Judge Paula Zinis denied a request from the DOJ for delay in the deportation case because of the government shutdown. Judge Zinis has given DOJ until October 10th for a confirmation from any DOJ officials or lawyers to present in court about the plan to deport Kilmar Abrego Garcia to Uganda or Eswatini. We will update you on what happened at Judge Zinis' courtroom last Friday as it becomes available.
In South Carolina, the house belonging to a state circuit judge, Dianne Goldstein, wife of former Senator Arnold Goldstein, was burned down in what authorities believe to be an arson attack. State law enforcement is investigating the fire on Ediso Beach in the St. Paul's Fire District that started about 11:30 in the morning on Saturday, October 4th. The 69-year-old Judge Goldstein has been receiving death threats after she ruled to block Trump administration's Justice Department to obtain personal information of more than 3 million registered voters in North Carolina. That included names, addresses, and social security numbers of these voters, saying it violates the state's election laws. Assistant U.S. Attorney General for Civil Rights, Harmeet Dillon, criticized her decision, but that was later reversed by the Republican-dominated state Supreme Court. The judge was not at the home when the fire broke out, but her husband and 3 members of her family were there. They were able to escape from the burning house. Her husband and her son were hospitalized with serious injury. Initial reports about the fire from the authorities mentions an explosion before the blaze. The threat of violence that many state and federal judges are facing each day are being attributed to the many media outlets and political observers says is a result of Trump's administration's description of judges who sides with the law and not bow down to the White House as rebel judges, activist judges, and enemy of the state, and U.S.-hating insurrectionists.
The newly elected Congresswoman from Arizona, Adelita Grijalva, who will represent Tucson, Yuma, and the peripheral areas of Phoenix, is still waiting to be sworn in as the government is in shutdown. Political observers are saying that the reason Speaker Mike Johnson decided to send the Republican lawmakers home to their districts and not hold sessions are 1, the Speaker does not want to swear in the new House representative who will become the 218th vote to the bipartisan proposal to force a vote on release of the Epstein file. Second only is the Republicans prefer a shutdown because that's what Donald Trump wants, is no negotiation with the Democrats on government funding. Others are looking at the possibility of Trump firing more federal employees during this shutdown in order to shrink the federal government further. We're going to take a commercial break. Please stay with us as we show you what went on with the Philippine History Month celebration here in Nevada, USA. More after this.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Since 1992, Philippine History Month has been celebrated in the United States by a declaration by the Board of Trustees of the Filipino-American National Historical Society in 1991. The said event are celebrated nationwide in the U.S. since 1992. The month of October commemorates the arrival of the first Filipino into U.S. soil, whom historians believe landed what is now Morro Bay, California, on October 18, 1587. The month also coincides the birth month of Larry Itliong, a farm workers' rights leader from Delano, California, first recognized by the state's governors proclamation in Hawaii and California and Arkansas in 2022, Nevada has followed when Governor Joe Lombardo made a similar proclamation for a Philippine History Month to be observed in the state of Nevada. It was a very colorful, big celebration in Las Vegas in the vibrant Filipino-American community. So Maribel, how was the celebration started?
So the celebration kicked off at the Fiesta Filipino event on October 4th, Saturday, at the M Resorts grounds. The event was organized by the National Federation of Filipino-American Associations, NAFA for short, but all the Filipino-American civic organizations collaborated and participated on that day to make it the biggest yet of this kind of celebration since the 2023 proclamation of the History Month here in Nevada. Here are some footage of the actual event, the exhibitors and vendors, and hundreds of volunteers.
TV, and that is the Fiesta Filipino PHLB radio channel. Tell your friends if they come out of town that our stage will be broadcasted across the universe, right? Across the universe, not just internationally, across the universe. All right, 10 o'clock is here. We're about to open. We just want to make sure that we have everything from food, vendors. You guys are ready. And paging our barangay captain, please. Leo Belmonte, barangay captain, come on the stage, please. We'll be starting our program shortly. So hit that.
The entertainment was continuous from 10:15 a.m. until 9:15 in the evening, nonstop, as hundreds of artists showed up to support. There were singers, folk dancers, hip-hop dancers, an elegant fashion show by CMC Boutique and other designers, and stand-up comedy. Let's take a look at their staged performance.
The event was also graced by Nevada elected officials like Congresswoman Dina Titus, who represents Congressional District 1, and Congresswoman Susie Lee, who represents Congressional District 3, and the State Attorney General Aaron Ford. Governor Lombardo was represented by the governor's local government and community liaison, Sani Vinuya.
The unveiling ceremony of the now officially designated Filipino Town Cultural District took place on October 9th, Thursday, also with funfair. The county commission officials and other elected officials were there to celebrate with the Phil-Am community. Philippine Senator Riza Hontiveros came all the way from Manila to join the celebration.
It said you can tell Filipinos, Filipino Americans, wherever we are, our culture, our heritage, our identity as Filipinos, you can just tell. And that's why my mabuhay or congratulations to you for launching Filipino Town is especially heartfelt. Because here, you are setting up a town where your children and grandchildren can get in touch with that heritage, that shared history, those values that we are so proud of as Filipinos and as Filipino Americans, and that live forever in our hearts. So once again, maraming salamat. Thank you so much for inviting me and welcoming me so warmly to this part of the Philippines here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the United States of America. Mabuhay po kayo.
Congresswoman Dina Titus.
Well, thank you so much. Consul, Senator, very honored guests, and so many friends and family members from the Filipino community. I am honored and delighted to be here to welcome you to the heart of District 1. What a perfect place to have Filipino Town.
We all convene and come to Las Vegas because the Filipino community has been so important to us that we want to highlight how much you bring joy, and that we know that people who are new immigrants or you've been here, you want to retire here, that you are always welcome in Las Vegas. And now that Filipino Town has been established, we are here always to convene together. And I do want to give a special recognition to my sister in the fight for civic engagement, Genevieve Joponda.
Could you imagine this? Let's thank again Commissioner Sagerblum for making this happen. I am your only Filipino elected in the state legislature. There are so many people to thank and recognize today, but I have the honor of recognizing our amazing elected officials who are in the audience today who helped make this happen. When you hear their name, you got to stand up and wave. We got Attorney General Aaron Ford. State Senator Zach Conrad. Well, stay standing so we see you. Stay standing. State Senator Carrie Buck. Assemblymember Yui Wynn. Assemblymember, oh, look at that. Assemblymember David Orenlicker. Sheriff Kevin McMahill. South Central Area Command Captain Aguirre and his COP Sergeant Kingman and COP officers. Woo-hoo! Our City of Las Vegas Mayor Shelley Berkeley. Las Vegas City Councilwoman Nancy Bruni. Family Court Judge and Filipina Marie Parlante. Also Filipino, Regent Aaron Batista. Filipino City of North Las Vegas City Manager Michaela Moore. Our honorary consulate Amy Belmonte. Ray. From the Reno Commissioners, Alexis Hill. Hey, and guess what, Nevada? You are so important. We got some folks who flew all the way here for you. Stand up. Representative Justin Jones from Tennessee. Nebraska State Senator Rita Gomez Sanders. She's the only Filipino elected in the entire Midwest. Commissioner Armin Reyes from the city of Cerritos. Mayor Corey Calacay from the city of Claremont. State delegate from Maryland, Chris Valderrama. State representative from Washington, Edwin Obras. Yes. Okay, from the 9th all the way to the 9th Island. State representative Shirley Temple from Hawaii. City council member from the Tucson, Mr. Mendoza. And
Our Attorney General Aaron Ford, sir, our distinguished elected Filipino-American officials from the state of Nevada and all the other states in the United States who are present here this morning. Mga minamahal ko pong kababayan, a beautiful and blessed day to everyone. Magandang araw po sa inyo lahat. On behalf of the Philippine Consulate General in Los Angeles, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to the Clark County Commission, led by Commissioner Dick Segerba, and our vibrant Filipino-American community for making today's cultural designation and unveiling the Filipino town here in Las Vegas finally a reality.
Others throughout the world who make this possible. I want to thank everyone who came from the Philippines, from Hawaii, from Washington for being here. But most of all, I thank you who are seated here. Thank you for being here, because this is definitely a historic moment. A time for the entire state of Nevada to recognize the Filipinos. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness history. Rosita, on one end of the unveiling, please. Yes, definitely. Oh, wait. I have to touch it. Okay. If I don't touch it, it isn't legal. Okay. All right, go. Touch it. So, ladies and gentlemen, here in Las Vegas, here in Clark County, we present Filipino Town. Ladies and gentlemen, what town is this? Filipino. Whose town is this? Filipino. What town is this? Filipino. Whose town is this? Filipino.
The celebration continued all the way into the evening of October 9th with the inaugural party hosted by the Cavite Association under the leadership of Ruel Rodriguez, Chair of Events of the Cavite Association, and their President, Dodge Carrillo.
Morning. I would like to first congratulate the Filipino-American community for uniting for this very memorable event, the inauguration of Filipino Town in Vegas. No? So, palakpakan po natin ang ating mga sarili, please. You know, I've been in the foreign service for over 30 years, and I can count the number of Filipino towns abroad in one hand. So you should be very, very thankful that we have leaders here in Vegas that really poured their heart out in ensuring that we have finally our own place in southern Nevada. We have our own Filipino town.
And of course, the Filipino Town Las Vegas core group, led by Mr. Bernie Benito, and the original board who worked to end the project with Pastor Rosita Lee, also held a celebration from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. in a separate party event at 6350 Event Center and Maryland Parkway, with Filipino entertainment through the evening. Watch this.
What a great long week for film celebration in Las Vegas. Many from out of state came to join the celebration, and good job by the different organizations who worked to make it happen. We will leave it at that as we are out of time for this edition. Please join us again next week here at The Pulse. I'm Sam Buban. Thank you for watching.
And I'm Maribel Villanueva. God bless your week.